everybody. Welcome back to my channel. It's that proud black woman, and we've been on this show for a bit now. Fantastic! Now we are on as what's it called, episode 10. So for those of you that have been following me on my social media, you know that I said this time we're going to be bringing a youth that has been contributing to the community alongside our family members. And today we have Temi Akintan. How are you doing, Temi?
I'm really good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, not bad. And how was your week? And how is the weekend starting up?
The week was busy. It's just the second week of school, and they've already given us 20 assignments, 20 projects. So yeah, school has been busy, but it's been good.
It's good. Yeah, that's I remember when I was in school, I'm not sure if I liked school or I didn't like school, but I just knew it had to be done. I was
Yeah,
there, it had to be done, and that's it. So
yeah.
yeah, that's my week was also not too bad and not too good. It was a mixture of both, life goes on and all of that. So hello, somebody said hi. Hi, thanks for joining us today. So today's episode, as I said, we're going to be talking about your work with your foundation, and how you've been able to start, and what are the things that you've been doing together with your family. Has there been challenges? What are the perks of it? Do you get fulfillment in doing this kind of work?
Yeah.
And especially being an undergrad, that's a huge deal. A lot of people that are undergrads, they just want to party, have fun, and that's it. Like I would tell you, when I was like in an undergrad, I wasn't partying, but at the same time I wasn't thinking about saving the world. I
Yeah.
wasn't thinking so that's quite impressive. So my first question would be, how did this start? I Let me see if I got it right. I am, I can, and I will, right? Oh,
Yes, I am. I
okay.
can. I will.
All right.
It started in 2014 when the 376 Chibok girls were kidnapped by Boko Haram. And then I think my mom had mentioned it to me, and then me and my brother were like, that's not okay. So we decided to organize a rally downtown Toronto at Young Dundas Square. And then like hundreds of people came. There was news coverage, and we're like, wait, we actually have an impact on people. And if we say that we're going to do something for other people, people are going to show up to help and support because other people want to help, but they don't know where to start. So we gave people the opportunity or the platform to help out
To do it.
those women. And so from there, I think the summer after that is when we organized our first missions trip. But I think that Chibok Girls Rally is where I am, I can, I will was kind of birthed.
That's good. So if I may ask, you said 2014. So how old were you then?
I was 15 or 14 turning 15 or 15 years old.
Wow. So you started really early. That would be you were in high school.
Yes, I
That's
think I
quite impressive.
was.
Wow. So this non for profit, is it registered?
Yes, it's registered, not as a company, but as a NGO, like a
Yeah.
non-government. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's really good. So is it what are the other things that you've done? We're going to come back to that, but let me just give a shout out to people joining. Hello, everybody. You know how we do. Rep your city. Where are you watching us from? Are you in Canada? Are you in the US? Are you in Nigeria? Rep it in the comment section. Let's know, because that's how we mark attendance on this show. So before we continue, just bear with us for 1 second. So welcome back, everybody. Thanks for staying tuned. So my question is, do you guys like what are the type of work that you guys have done since 2014?
Okay, so after the Bring Back Our Girls rally, we worked with First Nations children in Atawapiskat, which is like 2.5 hours north of here. And that city had lost all water, all school supplies, they had nothing. So we organized a drive where people would bring in stuff, and then we also got stuff, and then we sent it up to them, and we provided all their school supplies necessary. And then we also started a pen pal program with some of the students there because in First Nations communities, there's a lack of mental health awareness and mental health support. And so just having someone to talk to for a lot of them was a really nice feeling. and someone who wasn't inundated with everything that was going on around them. We fed the homeless in Halton and Hamilton region. We taught some Syrian refugees English in Hamilton and distributed
Oh,
food
nice.
supplies back to food banks and seniors. We did the missions trip in Lagos and in Abuja to IDP, internally displaced persons camps. And then we gave them food and long term support, which I'll get into later eventually. And then we sponsored some of the students in those camps through school, high school, and then post secondary education. Volunteered, or my mom volunteered for the Milton District Real Estate Board community event. And then we've organized like an Oakville Culture Day and an Oakville, Nigeria Culture Day. And then lastly, a financial literacy program in 2019, I think, for the summer for youth in Halton region.
So that's a whole lot that you've been able to achieve within a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And talk about diversity and inclusion. Like you go across board. It's not just the Black community. It's Syrians. It's First Nations. It's like older people. Things like that. Like you've been all over the place. That's fantastic. So out of all of this, can you give us an example, one or two of them that really spoke to you, that you felt really good after, completing that project?
I think the first one that really touched me, the trigger warning, sexual assault. But we went on our mission trip to Nigeria, Abuja, and there was an internally displaced camp that we were driving through, and you had to drive through the village for like 20 minutes before you actually got into this IDP camp. And when we got there, we saw this young girl, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so pretty. Like she had makeup on. This girl was no older than probably 11 years old, makeup on, like standing at a corner. And I mentioned it to one of the elders at the camp, and she's like, oh, that girl is like a prostitute. That girl sells her body for money. And to me, I was like, I'm 15, 16. I don't even know what that is. Like, I've never thought about that kind of topic before, but for her to be standing there because it's something that she knows that's what she needs to do to get her family money and what she needs to do to support her family was really, it touched on my heartstrings. And so I now am sponsoring that girl through school. So she can get education for her family and then to help support her family. But I think that was when I was like, wait, this is, this life is not fair.
Yeah, exactly. I think I saw that post. I think that was the post that I saw that made me reach out to you. I think you had put talking about little kids that are being used as sex trade workers. And I was like, wow, as young as that. And I think I commented on that, wow, you're doing a good job. And I was like, okay, I'm going to have to reach out to you so we can talk about that. So for people like that, because a lot of people don't want to talk about sexual assault, and it's really predominant in places like Asia, Africa, things like that. Like mostly when people are displaced, that's what they turn to, like the sex trade and things like that. So mentally for you, it's not only demanding on them. For you, how have you been able to manage that? Because hearing all of that, it might have some kind of impact. So how do you cope with hearing people's stories like that?
I honestly thank God that I'm hearing them and not experiencing them, because I know that the people who are going through it have it, that they're dealing with it tenfold. So all I can really do is help. Like there's really, I don't know what to think or what to feel sometimes. It's just like, okay, they cannot be in this situation any longer. So I have to do what I have to do to help them. So I don't really think about it. Like, I don't know. Does that make sense? Like, I don't think about it.
Yeah, because sometimes I've been in situations where I've had to deal with cases of people that are being sexually violated, and you have to listen to their narrative or read their narrative, and it kind of triggers you. A lot of times people don't care. They be like, okay, I'm not in that situation, so well, it's not affecting me. But if you sit down and think about it, sometimes you could have nightmares. It didn't happen to you, but listening to them, reading their narrative, it has some kind of way that it affects you. So a lot of times I advise people to also, get mental health support. It could be talking to someone else, like, this is what I'm going through, this is what somebody's going through, and it's kind of affecting me. Some people don't notice right away, but later on, that they start to have that. People could have post-traumatic stress disorder just from attending to people that have been through trauma as well.
Mm.
So let's go on. Let's go away a little bit from the sad part. So, what are the fun part of this foundation? What are the fun part? You were talking about a Nigerian. Was it Yoruba or languages thing that you did? Was it 2019 or something like that?
The
Or
Nigerian,
tradition?
the culture day.
Yeah, culture day. The fun
That
part.
was that was fun. Me and my mom, I think it was somewhere North Oakville, and we rented out a hall, and then a bunch of youth that we knew and that our friends of friends knew came and did like a fashion show. We represented Nigerian or West African art. We had members of the Oakville community trying Nigerian food. So I think it was just good to teach people about our culture, because I think in Halton especially, the biggest issue is that they're not exposed to the culture. So it's easy for them to judge the culture because they don't know it. So that was kind of our biggest push for the culture day is um, they're hating because they don't understand. So if we teach them, then I think it'll make for a much more inclusive community. So that's the exciting thing, is teaching the Western world about Nigeria and why I love being Nigerian and I wouldn't want to be anything else.
Exactly. So that's good. And when you're drawing up your resume, remember to put that the queen of diversity and inclusion in there, because
Yeah.
that's a passion of mine as well. Uh,
Mhm.
Diversity and inclusion, because a lot of people, as you said, they hate when they don't know what it's about, but showing them in that manner, making it fun, so that
Mhm.
not all they hear on social media or on the media about Africa, that about female genital mutilation, what's it called, war, and all of those kind of things, make them to create this kind of uh, stereotype about us. But you showing them the other part, the community eating together, the fun traditions and culture and all of that, even our fashion. That's
Yeah.
another way to change their mindset and say, okay, I think this is not all bad. What we've been seeing on TV or on the media might not necessarily portray who these people are. Because I believe, like, there was a survey that was done like years ago, and they said Nigerians are one of the happiest people on earth, and it's true. Because even I can bet with you, when you went into the camp, you will see that even regardless of what they're going through, you still see kids playing. You still see people, playing, having fun, gisting, and all of that, even regardless of what they are going through. And
Yeah.
that's the truth. We're always generally happy, warm, and fun to be with, and
Yeah.
people need to see that side. So that's great that you're, bringing that out. So now, apart from you being a co-founder of I Am, I Can, I Will, you're also a creative, because I saw another. I saw that you had another Instagram account where you actually do art and things like that. So,
Mhm.
did you have to study for that, or is it a talent that you have?
Funny enough, in elementary school and high school, I took art classes, but I believed I was terrible because I didn't put in any effort. And so, looking like my best friend is an artist, she's amazing. And so I'd look at her art and I'd look at mine. And I'm like, okay, I'm just in this class, I guess, to get a grade. Like, I'm not here for anything serious. And then in 2019 fall, I got an iPad. And then I think because I got the iPad, I was like, no, I actually have to put in the effort to learn and watch videos and just draw. Like I did this challenge, the 365-day challenge, where every day I would just draw something and post it. I only got to like day 60 or 70, but by that point I was like, wait a second, Temi, like you got you can draw, like you can do commissions. And so then I had my page, and then now it's just open for commissions and collaborations and stuff. But yeah, it wasn't, I think a mix between talent that I didn't know I had and then just consistent practice.
That's good. So, what's your plan for Soulful Figures? Is it that you're gonna be taking on work and making some cash from that, or is just something you're gonna keep doing for fun?
I think a mix of both. It got to a point in 2020 during COVID where I was doing so many commissions, and then I stopped enjoying drawing because I wasn't doing it because I was just feeling creative and wanted to draw something. So I think finding the balance between creating what I want to create and then also doing commission work for other people is where I'm aiming to be, trying to find the balance.
Now, going back to I Am, I Can, I Will. How
Mm-hmm.
did you come about that name? How did you come about that? It's really powerful, even without asking what you do, listening to that, you already have an idea of what this non-for-profit is about. So how did you guys come about that name?
Honestly, it was my mom who came up with it. She was like, "These children don't understand the innate gifts that they've been given by God. So just by saying like I am, telling them to say, repeat after you, I am, I can, and I will, just empowers people, because that's our main vision or goal, is to empower youth and women in developing regions. So it was more of a, not only is it just our name, but it's also a statement that you can say to yourself, kind of like an affirmation. So yeah, I think that's where she came up with the name.
That's good. So do you guys intend to enlarge and maybe hire people or take voluntary workers to help you on doing any kind of project that you might be willing to do in the future?
Probably, yes. So when we went on our mission trip to Nigeria, a lot of our family and our family friends came with us to the IDP camps. So honestly, whoever's willing to help, or if some of our family that was in Canada and couldn't come on the trip with us would donate clothing, food, money, so that when we do take it out there, we would have something to give them. And so honestly, just people can help out in whatever way that they're able to help out. We don't really have any particular asks.
Okay. So how do you determine what project to do? Because a lot of times a lot of things happen and you have so many communities that need help. How do you decide, okay, this is the community we're going to be putting all our money into this time, or this is what we're going to be, this is the community that we're going to be helping out? Like, how do you decide, and how do you get information about this community and who to reach out to?
Honestly, I think it's just what touches us the most. So, for example, the Boko Haram thing, that was that was a big thing that happened to people from where we're from. So we felt a need to help them. But also, I think it's very easy to be like, okay, I need to help people. Let me go help these children in Africa. But I think the change a lot of the time starts from where you are. And so,
Exactly.
like on what holiday? I can't remember what holiday it was. I think it was Thanksgiving. We went out to Hamilton region. We're handing out food because it's you can look at your own life and be like, okay, you know what? I'm content with where I am, but you don't look at the people who are living on the street 2 blocks down from where you are, who you could also help, and kind of like helping yourself before you help others. So if you help your direct community, I think that makes a much bigger impact. So we just help what we see closest to us around us, and then we go on from there.
That's really good, and it's true what you said about people. When they think about charity or doing something, they always immediately think about Africa. But what about people around you? What about your next door neighbor? Do you know what they're going through? Do you know if they had one of the meals for the day? So you have to like be very attentive. You have to be, very observant of people around you, of your friends, of your family. You don't know. So at the end of the day, giving doesn't have to be somewhere miles and millions of miles away. It could start from where you are. So that's really important. Now, what are the challenges that you guys have had to face?
My biggest challenge or fear is that when I visit these kids or these communities in need of assistance, I'm scared that I'm only going to be creating band-aid solutions. And this doesn't mean that people shouldn't contribute in whatever way that they seem fit. But I just think that because this initiative is something that I'm extremely passionate about, it's hard for me to not consider all of the factors. And so it wasn't just a challenge for me, but also a challenge for us as a family to decide what made the most sense in creating sustainable change. And I think that in the Western world, a lot of us, myself included, have a savior complex where we go on a missions trip, and then in that moment,
to save everybody.
Yeah, in that moment, we're there to save everybody, and then we leave. So sometimes it's important for me to check myself, because there's certain initiatives. I found out this story of a very big NGO or charity that would have fully funded missions trips for students and children from the Western world, and they would go there to help the villagers build houses, but they wouldn't teach them how to properly build houses. So at night, the villagers would have to go back, knock down everything that the mission trip people did, and then rebuild the house. And that's not creating sustainable change. That's just helping your ego and being like, oh, I went there, I did something, I fixed something. And so being someone's savior for a moment, but not adding tangible value to their life when I leave so they can help themselves is my biggest fear. So I guess that's my challenge.
And I think that's what drives change, right? Thinking about not just the band-aid, not just giving them food for today, but teaching them how to, make their own food, how to get their own food, and making sure that it's sustainable. Because if you go to Nigeria today and you just hand out jollof rice or hand out pounded yam, and they eat for that, at that point they'll be happy. But what happens when you leave? And that drives change. It makes you start thinking very critical, like, what can I do to be better? What can I do to make a lasting change? And that's the kind of mindset that a lot of people have to have, like a lot of our leaders, even in Africa, because most of the time, even something random like good roads, they tell people, oh, we're going to make roads for you, and then they send somebody that puts like a thin layer of tar on the road, and then the next year when the Hamilton season comes, the road gets messy, or when the rainy season comes, so it's never sustainable, and that's where the problem is. So first of all, I would tell you that your fear is valid. That's the first thing. And second of all is I would like to commend you for thinking way ahead, like what can I do to make the future better? If so many youths are thinking that way, and talking about you, I'm also a youth, right?
Yeah.
But if people that start thinking about it as young as you were, 15 years old, your mom told you something and you said, you know what, maybe we can do something. And then the turnaround, because a lot of times people are also looking for the first person to make the first move, right? And then once you take that move, you'll see that the remainder of the steps will be a lot more easier, because then people will start gathering around you and help out whichever way they can. So that's a very that's really good to know that that's your fear. It's valid, and you're doing a fantastic job.
Thank
So
you.
now to the next question. Funds. That's always a big thing. A lot
Yeah.
of people, there's one saying that they say in Nigeria, they say the mind is willing, but the pocket is weak, right? A
Yeah.
lot of people want to help out. A lot of people want to be involved in charity, but they themselves they need that charity themselves. Like in your situation, like where do you get funds from? Is it all personal money, or do you get donations, or have a GoFundMe or things like that? How do you get funding?
I would say it's 50-50. We save a part of our own income to help them. And then we also ask, we have a GoFundMe, or we had a GoFundMe for our admissions trip. And then, like I said before, with the donations, we're always open to accepting donations of food, clothing, whatever, really, mattresses, even. So, yeah, I think it is expensive, but also recognizing that I'm in a place of privilege, and then checking my own privilege and being like, you know what, life is a lottery. I could have ended up where they have ended up. So I just need to be grateful and then giving, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense, because and for example, right now in Nigeria, for example, it depends on which country you're doing your mission at, but
Yeah.
sometimes sending $50 to
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria could help. Like depending on wherever it is, I'm not talking about Lagos or Abuja, but talking about people in camps, people that are suffering. $50, if you convert it to Nigerian naira, is a whole lot
It's
of money.
money.
That would feed some people, might not feed them for too long, but will
Yeah.
give them the food for that day. So a lot of times people just think, oh, I have to be very comfortable first before I can give. But it doesn't always have to be that. Whatever your widow's mite is, you can give it. And this are kind of foundation, your type of foundation is the type of foundation that people should give to. Not, I don't have anything against people on TV, but a lot of times I believe that the ones on TV, they are big organizations. They have to pay their staff. They have to pay for the ad. So at the end of the day, the amount that goes back to those people is not a lot. But smaller charities like you guys, like not for profit, given the $50, I could bet that at least $40 out of that might end up getting to those that are intended. With the bigger organizations, a lot of times they might not go in person to those villages. They give it to the leader of the group, and then the money just goes unaccounted for. You get
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So for that, it's really crazy. But whatever you're doing, keep doing it. At least I got to find out about you due to that, like that story of that girl that was a prostitute because she wants to help her family, and she's like 11 years old, and we don't even know how long she's been doing that.
Yeah.
That child should still be in elementary school,
Mm-hmm.
so it's really touching what you're doing. Keep doing it. And now
And to add to
for
that,
is there any okay.
to add to that, what you said about the $50 going a long way, it's $26 per semester to fund a child through school. That's
Wow.
like one meal out. So it's really not expensive. Or I think it's a lot less expensive than it is in the Western world. So just being like, okay, let me set aside this $26 this one month, and it'll help this person for the rest of their lives, is a mindset to have.
Yeah, and that's where you come with the sustainability, because now if you're paying for someone's school fees, you are empowering them, right?
Mm,
You're giving them the tools they need for their future, so that even if they're not able to progress to university, if they can get the basic education which is the high school and the primary school, they could be able to do some other things. They could be able to get a scholarship and come abroad, you know.
Yeah.
But that basic part of it is really important. And that's where, as I said, the sustainability comes in, where you think about what can I do to empower these people rather than just feed them for a day and then take pictures, because a lot of people do that. They go to Africa and they take pictures with those kids.
Last child next to them.
And then with the child holding a plate of rice or something. That's not what we want. We want, like, really, like, we want you to be passionate about what you do, so much so that you want to help. It's not, there's nothing bad in you wanting to help everybody. It's not realistic, but it's a good place to be, that, okay, I want to help everybody I find. I want to help. I want to help. It drives you. It makes you want to do more. It makes you reach out to people that can help. Because a lot of times, for example, if I decide to start a not-for-profit, if I don't have the money, it's your drive sometimes that make people want to invest in your dream, right? It's your drive. They see what you're doing. They see the little bit you're able to do within your community. And then later on, when you decide, I want to do more, and then you start reaching out to people and show them, you know what, I did this, I did that. Then they're like, okay, they want to invest. And then the money comes easier. The more you do, the more funds will come, right? So now, talking about school, how do you manage school, your hobbies, and saving the world, if I might say? How do you manage all of that?
Honestly, sometimes I don't. More often than not, one has to go on the back burner at any given moment. So right now, my biggest focus, I'm about to graduate from Queen's University, so I'm trying to look for a job.
Congratulations in advance.
Only if I have a job will I be able to help these people. So I think taking it one step at a time. Right now, I'm focusing on school. The charity I'm thinking about the culture day for this year, but besides that, I don't really have as much time because I work for my university as well. So
nice.
Yeah, I think, and then like I said before, the balance between working by drawing and then also doing it for fun. Right now, I'm trying to make more time to do it for fun, so I don't lose the talent,
the drive.
So yeah, I think just I always have to drop one at any given moment.
Yeah, that's true, because for a lot of us too, you have to learn to prioritize things. Like at this moment, at this given moment, what is the priority? Is it the soulful figures? Is it feeding people? Can I just pick one now and then do the next one in 3 months? And as you said, now you're looking to you're going to be graduating, which there's going to be a summer graduation. Make sure you invite me, okay? Everybody here can see that you already said you're inviting me, so that's I already have that. I have witnesses. So for that, you're thinking, okay, at this moment, let me invest in my studies so that I can graduate and then be able to go on with the next stage of my life. Because at the end of the day, when you're happy, when you feel fulfilled that you can help others, if you're not happy, then you can't continue doing what you do because it's not bringing you joy, because you're thinking, well, my own life too needs fixing, right? So it's the way you're prioritizing, I would say it's the best thing to do. And a lot of people don't know that. You want to do everything at the same time. As we said earlier, it's not a bad thing to want to save everybody, but at the same time, you have to be realistic with your expectations. Otherwise, you're going to get burned, you're going to get fatigued, you're going to get, like, you're just going to give up at some point in time. So that's really, really good. So in your bio, by the way, everybody joining us, if you check in the description box, you will see Temi's bio there. And she had mentioned something about you want to go into the tech industry. Tell us a little bit about that.
So I am a very indecisive person. And if you know me, you know I've switched my major 3 times in my 5 years of being at Queen's University. I started off doing economics and I was like, no, I want to do dentistry. So let me switch to sciences. And then I realized I hated both, but I had done enough courses in both. So I was like, you know what, let me finish bio and economics. And but then I started drawing. So I was like, okay, I'm creative, but I also have a problem solving skill set that I've developed from my undergraduate degree. So what job or what area suits both of those things? And it was user experience and user interface. So UX, UI product design. So I'm hoping to go into the tech industry designing like the interfaces and user flows for apps and websites and that kind of thing. So
that's good. So in case those of you joining us from LinkedIn, she's going to be graduating soon. So if you're in the tech industry, all right, if you're in the tech industry, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to her. And please, if I'm sure you don't mind having mentors in that industry,
Yeah.
showing you the way, showing you how things are done, how to get your feet in the door, and things like that. So it will be good. I would say there's this lady, Dr. Olubamiji. She's also in the tech industry. I don't know if you know her. You could reach out. You could reach out to her. She's on LinkedIn. So maybe it could be worth it opening a LinkedIn account if you don't already have one. Because I've seen people that are students and they have LinkedIn accounts. So it's not something that you have to wait till you graduate and you're looking for a job. Start making your presence known. Post one or two things even if you start by posting one thing a month. Let people start noticing you, so that by the time you graduate and you're looking for a job, you already created that profile. You already created that. People are already noticing you, right? And the work you do, very important. It doesn't have to be in the tech industry. I can, I will, or you can put the things that you do. It doesn't matter if it's recent. It could be the ones you've done in 2014 and stuff. Put it in there. Let people see that this lady really has values. She has things that she wants to do, and things that she can contribute to our company, and people will reach out to you. I've had situations where people would come into my inbox and say, "Oh, I saw this. Would you mind applying for this job?" And I'm thinking, no, I'm not looking for a job in that aspect, right? So you never know, right? So start looking from now, and before you know it, maybe you'll be making 200,000. You'll be like, you know what, Kevin, send me your account number. Let me just credit you with $10,000. It's nothing big, nothing much, right? But this has been a really fun session. I can't believe it's 30 minutes already. It was fun. I'm glad to have finally met you. And I believe that a lot of people have learned one thing or two, that you don't have to be in high places to help. You don't have to be 50 years old to help. You don't have to be a CEO of a company to help. You can start with your little beginning. You can start from where you are right now. You can start at any age. It doesn't matter if you're 10, if you're 12, because there are so many other people also that will relate better to you because you're younger, and will be able to open up to you and tell them, this is what rather than a grown up, coming, like somebody that's like 70 years old, they'll be like, this person is going to be very judgmental, because people would relate more with somebody that's closer to their age rather than, I don't know, somebody that's 50 or more. But this has been a really fantastic one. I want to say, keep doing what you're doing. If you ever need assistance with publicizing whatever, if you like the culture day, or if you're having a charity event that you want me to also put on the platform, don't hesitate to reach out to me and all of that, and I'll be able to put my widow's mite, whatever I have as well. And you never know how far that can go. So before we round up for the day, is there any final words that you want to share with the people watching us today?
Maybe one. I just think that giving back is a part of life. So I don't think it should be something that's praised and put on a pedestal the way that it is, because very few people, like I said before, life is a lottery. Very few people choose their living situation. So, but instead they're victim to certain circumstances. So me being in a position to give back and assess the privilege in my own life allows me to recognize that the people that have been left out of certain spaces, opportunities, and conversations, and then advocate for them. So I think that that's my main thing about charity and giving back and helping others, is just being present with yourself and then checking yourself when you do realize, wait a second, is this my savior complex talking, or is this me genuinely wanting to help these other people?
Yeah, that's good. Whatever it is that triggers you to want to help,
Yeah.
just go with the flow, right? Go with the flow and see where it ends up. But one way or the other is that at least one person would benefit from that, whatever it is that you're going to. Either it's savior complex, either it's whatever. Just give, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Give, help people out, check on people around you. You don't have to go to Africa. You don't have to go to Asia to go help. You can help people in your community. A lot of people are going through stuff. Look at, don't be blind. Don't be, especially in the days of social media, I could easily walk by you without even realizing you're the one standing beside me because I'm there on my phone. Just be a little bit more present, right? Even on social media nowadays, there's so many things that get posted. I've seen people reach out to me in my inbox saying, oh, they're going through this and that. Some of them I try to verify and then I help. Some of them I know this is just not, no, you're probably just going from somebody's inbox to another person's inbox just to get money. So, and then at the end of the day, I'm also not a billionaire, so I can't help everybody. I
Mhm.
also have my own expenses and bills. So all of that is things that you have to consider. But whenever I get the chance, I try to do what I can, right?
Mhm.
All right. So this has been so fun. Thank you so much for joining. For everybody, uh, this is season 2, as I said, and the topic is moving forward. And today's we're focusing on our youth, our fantastic youth here that has been doing a whole lot with her, not just by herself, but together with her family. And they're looking to do more in the near future. If you want to contribute to that, also reach out to her, reach out to me. I can link you up. So yeah, thank you so much. And that will be it for us today. Have a fantastic day.